All right, what's up, everybody? My name is Matthew. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram at MSJ_4 times or at Chile Productions. And today, what we're going to be doing is trying to troubleshoot why my steering wheel has so much slack. So as you can tell, I can move it a little bit. Let's get into it. On one of the forums a while back asking about the issue, and someone had mentioned that it could be some two bolts that are behind essentially this plastic piece right here, two Torx bolts that would back out, or at least in this case it had backed out, because they also noticed that nothing else was shifting while moving the steering wheel around just at a dead stop like this. So right now, just a moment ago, I was moving the steering wheel around and I didn't see like the shaft moving at all side to side. So it's safe to assume it's probably going to be up here, and hopefully it is those two bolts, because then great, it'll be easy. If not, obviously a little bit more troubleshooting is going to have to be done. It's been going on for a while. Every time I hit a bump too, it kind of gets a little swirly, especially on the freeway and whatnot. So let's remove these panels. I'll show you guys what we're going to be doing. And also I am recording on my phone right now with GoPro's dead. So let me grab all the tools and we'll get to it. All right, first things first, we're going to need to drop down this panel in order for this component to be removed. You're going to start by popping out these two little circles with good old flathead. All right, once you got those removed, you're going to use a 7mm to pull out the bolts right behind them. All right, once you have those two bolts removed, you can gently pull down on here, and there is some clips in here that kind of hold it into place. Perfect. I'm gonna see if I can leave this on the way it is right now, just a little bit loose to give me a little bit of room. But some say you do have to remove this whole piece, but let's try it out. All right, next step would have to be removing screws that are inside here. In my case, I don't have them. Some trucks do. I don't know which ones do or don't. Like I said, I don't have one. Next step would be removing this lever right here that helps adjust the tilt of the steering wheel. This literally just pulls out. It's a lot harder than that. I had to use two hands a moment ago to pull this out. But yeah, you just give it a little bit of force. That's essentially what it's going to look like to pull it out, and you're still able to adjust it with your finger once it is out, so don't worry about that. Following step is obviously removing this bottom piece. It is just held on by clips now. So work your way around it. Usually you start on the left side and get a good feel for it. Try not to break the clips. Let me remove it and then I'll show you exactly where those clips are. But essentially you're just gonna have to pull this side down, place your fingers in here, inside there, use some tools if you have to. I'm just gonna see if I can do it with my hands. All right, got it off. Two things to notate. When pulling this portion down, this piece right here goes actually inside this area, so you're gonna have to not only push in that direction and pull down at the same time. Second thing to notice is this clip on both sides actually goes into this. It's more like a very flexible plastic piece. It goes inside that little groove. So essentially you're gonna push towards the front of the car, pull down, and then wiggle this out a little bit. Other than that, those clips I was telling you about, you can see one right here, one on the other side. Actually, it doesn't look like there's one right there, but there are a bunch of like pushing ones. And then obviously these clips down here that hold it into place. Try not to be too rough with it, because you have your adjuster right here for your pedals. If you do have, obviously a 3SS. If not, don't worry about it. But yeah, push in, pull down, pull out, and then you can just kind of let it hang there. Next thing is removing the top one. So we're gonna pull on the lever, pull the steering wheel down, and then start taking this one off. All right, actually one correction. Before you're able to pull this up, you do need to remove this screw that's inside there, that little screw right there. It's a 4mm, but you need like a long socket. This is the only 4mm I have. But what I do have is an iFixit toolkit that I should be able to use one of these with this extension to get it out. So let me go ahead and do that first. All right, here's that small screw. Kind of hard to focus, but it's right there. And just like the bottom one, keep in mind it goes a little bit under the actual steering wheel. So you need to push in, pull up, and then you'll be able to pull it out. So let's go ahead and remove that. All right, and with that top component, plastic piece removed, we're able to see those two torque screws, or torque bits, screws, whatever you want to call them, right there. One's right there. Move the steering wheel. You see the second one right there. So these are what you're supposed to tighten up that would get rid of this slack, but unfortunately, it is not the case for my car right now. So I could move this, but you see that component is moving as well, in sync with it. And I should have done this before, but I did not. I only checked the front, but I still didn't see anything in the front. So I need to dive in a little bit more. So I need to jack up the car and look at everything. But another good place that I should have started would be down here. You can tell if I move the steering wheel a little bit, you can see the slack right there. Unfortunately, I mean, great learning experience, so I know how to take this off because it's actually my first time removing that. But unfortunately, those two screws that were mentioned before aren't going to resolve my issue today. So let's go ahead and move everything back, and then we'll take it from there. All right, and we're pretty much going to end the video here. We know how to remove the column cover now. We know where to go for those screws. I'm having a couple of other little issues, like having an issue where the key doesn't want to come out when I put the car in park, and I'm getting all these different I guess messages saying, hey, it's going to be this component, like the ignition switch, or the little bushing that connects to the transmission, which I bought like this metal one, or the shift solenoid that's under the center console. So I got that too. I got the that little metal bushing to replace the one that's on the transmission. That's a plastic one, and I want to replace the ignition switch right now, and obviously the actual ignition, since I haven't replaced it since the car got stolen. But I have a Lok-it kit that I want to throw on here eventually, and I plan to, hopefully I can replace those components myself. That's why I have put on the Lok-it kit, and now I know how to remove everything. But yeah, I was moving the steering wheel right now. Obviously we saw the bottom, it was moving, so it wasn't those set screws, unfortunately. And yeah, now I gotta dive into it a little bit more. But other than that, if you guys are curious on how to remove the cover, I couldn't really find a video. I just saw like some write-ups and whatnot on it. Yep, that's how you do it. Definitely before you do any kind of work, don't forget to remove the battery. But yeah, that's all for this one.